Good morning. My name is Suzanne Wylde. I work in the Environmental Protection Agency, and I'm going to speak to you this morning about the role of the EPA in SEA. We're a small team of 4. Tadhg Mahoney is the team lead, and he's based in Cork, along with Cian O'Mahony and Dave Galvin, and I'm based in the EPA headquarters in Wexford. I'm going to speak about the role of the EPA in SEA, the second review of effectiveness in SEA published earlier this year, some challenges in SEA, and finally I'll speak to you about the key messages from the EPA's new State of the Environment report, which was published yesterday. The EPA is a designated environmental authority under the SEA legislation. There are 5 environmental authorities: the EPA, the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine, the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage, the Department of the Environment, Climate and Communications, and the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts, Gaeltacht, Sport and Media. The EPA is the only environmental authority that is consulted on all SEAs, and we prioritise our submissions and offer a self-service approach to local authority plans. As part of our internal processes and procedures, we consult with our organisation experts depending on the plan topic. For example, for water-related plans, we would always consult with the catchments team. It is important to note that our role as an environmental authority is not an enforcement role, and we also have an advocacy role, participating in steering groups, research projects, and preparing guidance notes and tools to assist plan makers. Our role is also to promote joined-up thinking and collaboration between plan makers and relevant stakeholders. We promote the integration of environmental considerations into the plans. We encourage that the findings of the SEA are integrated into the plans, and we promote environmental protection and sustainable development. I'll speak about this later when I'm talking about the State of the Environment report. So just a quick slide to show the breakdown of SEAs by sector. You will see that the majority of SEAs are carried out for land use, that is land use plans at regional, local and county levels. And key other sectors include agriculture, energy, water and waste. So the second review of effectiveness in SEA was commenced in March 2018, and we published it earlier this year in January. This EPA-funded research project was led by UCD in collaboration with RPS and Levitt Thurvell Consultants in the UK. The project goal was to assess the progress made in implementing the SEA directive in Ireland, to identify areas where further improvements are required, and to provide guidance and make recommendations on the actions needed to address any identified issues. The review also looked at emerging good international practice and presented practical recommendations. We published guidance on the preparation of SEA statements and monitoring alongside the review. The findings of the review indicate that, broadly speaking, Ireland seems to be more procedurally effective than reported in previous effectiveness reviews, and SEA seems to be fulfilling its role. The review returned over 30 strategic recommendations, and these recommendations have been used to prepare the new SEA action plan for the period 2021 to 2025. This is currently being formulated by all the environmental authorities, and we hope to publish it in early 2021. So we quickly just also wanted to highlight some of the GIS resources that are available for SEA. EPA Maps is an extensive resource of mapped environmental data, and our SEA GIS research and reporting tool is available through EPA Maps, as well as other tools for appropriate assessment and water quality. This recently updated SEA GIS tool allows you to select predefined local authority areas or to search for specific settlements. It allows you to generate a report with information on Water Framework Directive water quality status, in addition to any relevant WFD significant pressures relevant to the search area. The tool will serve as a resource to assist planning authorities and SEA practitioners in carrying out SEA. Also, another tool available is the Environmental Sensitivity Mapping web tool, which some of you or many of you hopefully will be aware of. And it's a novel decision support tool for SEA and the planning processes in Ireland. It allows users to create area-specific environmental sensitivity maps. Some of you may have attended training workshops on the tool earlier this year, but if you've missed out, there are more workshops planned for 2021. And another resource which hopefully will be available next year is the EPA are currently working with partners in the OSI, Department of Agriculture, NPWS, Teagasc and the Heritage Council to develop detailed and high-resolution national land cover maps for Ireland. The delivery of these maps will establish Ireland as one of the leading countries in Europe for land cover mapping, and the data will likely transform our understanding of lands in Ireland, the associated impacts, and how we manage them into the future. We hope that these maps will start to become available on a regional basis early next year. So challenges in SEA then. The first challenge I want to mention is around engagement. Meaningful and proactive consultation with all the stakeholders means that you can have a better information base for a more comprehensive SEA. It allows plan makers to ensure that stakeholders and the public are well informed, and this can reduce opposition to controversial plans and programmes. It's important to consider the hierarchy of plans and their timing. And SEA effectiveness goes beyond legal compliance. It includes a better understanding by planners and the public of their local environment. It is important to ensure that the SEAs are integrated into the plans, and the preparation of plans and the SEA should run parallel. The earlier that the SEA process is kicked off on the plan timeline, the better. Other challenges include cumulative or in combination effects. Cumulative effects result from a combination of individual effects on a receptor. They can occur as a result of plans, programs, projects, and other actions in the past, present, and the reasonably foreseeable future. They can result from impacts that may be individually insignificant but collectively significant. We published a good practice guidance on cumulative effects assessment earlier this year, and it's available on our website along with all our other guidance. Issues around scale should also be considered, both in terms of the scale of the development, but also the scale against the capacity of the environment to assimilate the plan proposal. And finally, in terms of challenges, we must ensure compliance with environmental legislation, but also focus on better environmental outcomes, which leads me nicely into the next part of my presentation. Ireland's Environment 2020. The EPA is conscious that clear, accurate and timely information is vital to underpin policy and decision making. Through regular four-yearly State of the Environment reporting, the EPA provides comprehensive and evidence-based assessments of the quality of Ireland's environment. Our most recent report is Ireland's Environment and Integrated Assessment 2020, which was published yesterday. The report draws on data produced by the EPA and a range of other bodies, collating in one document the state of all key aspects of Ireland's environment. These include climate change, air, water, waste, land, soil, nature and biodiversity. And the report also addresses how the environment interacts with our health and well-being and looks at environmental performance in terms of policy development and implementation. These aspects link directly with the SEA topics. So the key messages from the report. We need vision and implementation to protect Ireland's environment and our health and well-being. Now is the time for a national environmental policy position for Ireland. To be clear on our ambition to protect Ireland's environment. A policy position would provide a national vision that all government departments, agencies, businesses, communities and individuals can sign up to play their part in protecting our environment. Full implementation of and compliance with existing environmental directives and legislation is a must to protect the environment, and we must ensure that the legislation is implemented in a timely and appropriate manner. A report by the European Environment Agency earlier this year has highlighted that the quality of our environment plays a key role in determining our health and well-being. We have many green and blue spaces, lakes, rivers, coasts, forests, bogs, urban parks, all of which are essential components of our health infrastructure. These allow people to get out into nature and away from everyday stresses to the benefit of health and well-being. And recent research published by UCD and NUIG in relation to the benefits of blue and green spaces. The research also includes a toolkit, and I'm happy to circulate this to anyone interested. We need to ensure that the 2020s is an age of action. We need to step up our actions to protect the environment in terms of climate, nature, air and water quality and the marine environment. The environment is under increasing threat. For climate, systemic change is required for Ireland to become the climate neutral and have a climate resilient society and economy that it aspires to be. For air quality, adoption of measures to meet the World Health Organization air quality guideline values should be the target to aim for in the Clean Air Strategy. We need to safeguard nature and wild places as a national priority so we can leave a legacy for future generations. And there needs to be improvement in the water environment, and water pollution must be tackled locally at a water catchment level. There needs to be systemic changes across a number of sectors, including energy, agriculture, water services and waste. Energy provision needs to focus on clean energy, agriculture needs to become more environmentally sustainable, and drinking water and wastewater infrastructure needs to meet the needs of our society. We need to move to a less wasteful and circular economy where the focus is on waste prevention, reuse, repair and recycling. The National Waste Action Plan published recently refers to designing waste out of our systems. And finally, we must promote integrated land mapping approaches to support decision making on sustainable land use. The National Land Cover Mapping Project I mentioned earlier will go a long way towards answering this message. And finally, to finish, I'm sharing this graphic recording with you. It's from a workshop that we held earlier this year on SEA effectiveness. And it's essentially a summary of everything discussed at the workshop and shows the elements involved in ensuring your SEA is effective. Legislative procedure, engagement, integration and monitoring, to name but a few. Gurv Magwith.